Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If your paycheck stopped for 30 days, would you feel calm or exposed? I used to think I was fine, until one quiet month showed me how fragile my finances really were. You can look successful online, drive a nice car, and still be one surprise away from real panic. Today, I'll show you what net worth counts as rich, comfortable, or poor, without shame and without hype. If you like money talk that's clear and calm, tap. Like so this reaches more silently stressed people. Comment your age and city because zip code changes everything, and I'll tailor examples to where you live. Share this with a friend who earns decent money yet still feels behind, because that feeling is heavy. And subscribe for the newest videos, because this reality check series gets practical, honest, and useful extremely fast today. Here's my promise. In 18 minutes, you'll know your number, your level, and your next move forward today. First, notice how social media makes rich look like spending, not stability, safety, or real options at all. People post vacations and new kitchens, but nobody posts the credit card balance or the sleepless nights publicly. I'm not here to label you. I'm here to locate you, so you stop guessing in the dark. One sentence to remember forever. Income is your speed, but net worth is your position on the map. Net worth is simple. Everything you own minus everything you owe, and the math never lies to you. Cash, investments, and home equity add up on one side. Credit cards, loans, and mortgages subtract hard monthly. Two people can earn the same salary, yet live in different worlds because debt changes everything dramatically over time. I once met a six-figure earner who panicked over a car repair because the margin was completely gone. That's why comfortable isn't a vibe. It's your reaction when life suddenly sends an unexpected bill tomorrow morning. So let's stop guessing and look at the real distribution of net worth across American households right now. In a moment, you'll see 3 milestones that reveal whether you're starting over, building, or truly rich in America. Here's the shocking middle. The median household net worth is about $176,500. That means half of households are below that number, even if they look fine from the outside today. Now listen closely. The top 10% starts around $1.6 million in net worth or more. And at the bottom, the 10th percentile sits near zero, meaning many people have nothing or negative wealth. If your number feels low, breathe. This is not a moral score. It's a starting location for you. I call it starting over when net worth is near zero, because shame makes progress slower and harder. Comfortable usually begins when you have breathing room, a buffer, a margin, and less panic in emergencies today. Rich to me isn't flashy. It's having options, time, and the ability to absorb big shocks quietly consistently. But numbers alone can mislead. So I use 2 tests that expose whether you're stable or fragile right now. Test 1 is the $400 surprise. Could you handle it with cash without borrowing or begging anyone today? The Federal Reserve tracks this, and in 2024, only about 63% said they could pay that way. That means millions of adults would need a card, a loan, or help for a bill under $500. And if you're younger, it's tougher. Ages 18 to 29 report much lower ability to cover that surprise. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it so you stop pretending you're fine alone anymore. Test 2 is the 3-month cushion. Could you cover 3 months of expenses if income paused suddenly today? In 2024, only about 55% reported having that kind of emergency fund. And that's a coin flip. So when someone says, "I'm comfortable," I translate it into one question. Can you take a hit and stay calm? If your answer is no, you're not broken. You're under pressure. And pressure needs a plan today again. Now let's talk about the invisible thing nobody budgets for, the zip code tax, especially in big metro areas. The same net worth can feel safe in Ohio, yet feel tight in Los Angeles after rent, insurance, and childcare. I've seen people hit $300,000 net worth and still feel broke because costs rise faster than paychecks. That's why I asked you to comment your city, because your rent and healthcare change the meaning of rich. If you're a parent, there's another tax, Childcare can swallow a huge slice of your income every month. Even government data shows full-time childcare often costs thousands per year, sometimes near 10 to 16% of income. So if you feel behind while doing everything right, I need you to hear this. You're not crazy. You're living inside math that got harder. Higher housing, higher insurance, and higher prices with the same paycheck. Now, I'm going to give you a simple framework. 3 levels, and each level has one clear priority. Level A is starting over. You're vulnerable, not because you're weak, but because your buffer is missing today. When $400 feels like a punch, your first win is building a small wall between you and chaos. I want you to stop the bleeding first. Kill high-interest credit card debt before you chase big investing dreams. Your next goal is a $1,000 starter cushion, because it turns emergencies into inconveniences, not disasters anymore quickly. Level B is comfortable. You can breathe, you can plan, and surprises don't automatically become debt anymore now. At this level, the key is margin, a gap between what you earn and what you spend each month. If your margin is real, you can automate progress, retirement contributions, sinking funds, and investing without stress weekly. I'd rather you invest consistently in boring index funds than gamble on hot picks that steal your sleep. Level C is rich. Not yachts, not watches, but the quiet power to say no and still be okay. When you're rich in net worth, a job loss hurts, but it doesn't erase your identity or future. This is why I define rich as options. Time off, better work, helping family, and choosing peace daily. Now you might be wondering, Alex, what number should I aim for? And my answer is practical always. First, aim for stability, not bragging rights. Pass the $400 test, then build the 3-month cushion securely next. Once you pass those 2 tests, your net worth starts climbing because you stop paying panic penalties every month. Panic penalties are interest, late fees, overdrafts, and rushed choices you make when your nervous system is yelling. I learned that lesson painfully. Stress makes you chase shortcuts, and shortcuts usually charge you more in the end. So let me make this personal. Picture 2 people, same income, same age, living in the same city today. Person 1 upgrades everything fast, leases the nicer car, and carries balances because life feels non-stop expensive lately. Yuknavrarth. Person 2 keeps lifestyle steady, pays debt down, invests automatically, and builds buffers like a quiet machine daily. 5 years later, their photos look similar, but their net worth gap can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. That gap stays invisible until a real emergency hits, and one person panics while the other stays calm. The first time you pay a surprise bill in cash, you feel freedom that no screenshot can capture. That freedom is what I want for you, because it rewires confidence faster than any motivational speech ever could. Ediming. Now, a common trap. Confusing a rising home value with daily safety, especially when cash is thin today. Home equity boosts net worth on paper, but if it's locked, your month can still feel breathless often. So I separate position from liquidity. Position is net worth. Liquidity is how fast you can access money. Comfortable means you have both. Solid position and enough liquidity. So emergencies don't force you into debt again today either. If your net worth is high but your buffer is 0, you're still fragile, just in nicer packaging. I'm sharing this gently because I lived it. I felt wealthy on Monday, then broke on Tuesday morning. Tuesday was the bill day, and my budget had no oxygen left, so I borrowed again, ashamed inside. Here's the hook to remember. Comfortable is oxygen, and oxygen is what keeps you from desperation decisions later. If you're starting over, your mission is oxygen. If you're comfortable, your mission becomes momentum and scale next. Momentum means automation. Set transfers, set contributions, then let consistency build wealth quietly while you live life fully. Automation is how ordinary people beat randomness, because willpower runs out the moment life gets loud again at home. Start with one simple rule. Pay yourself first, even if it's tiny, because tiny becomes identity surprisingly fast. If your job offers a 401k match, Take it, because it's the rarest thing in money. Free raises. Then build your emergency fund to 3 months. Not to feel rich, but to feel unshakable when storms hit. After that, invest consistently in broad index funds, because boring wealth beats exciting mistakes almost every single time. Here's another truth. Comfort grows faster when you stop trying to impress people who don't pay your bills. If you've ever bought something just to feel caught up, you already know how expensive insecurity can be. So I want you to hear this clearly. Your net worth is not your worth and never will be. We're using numbers as a flashlight, not a verdict, so you can move forward with less fear daily. Now let's address the word poor because it can sound harsh, and I don't use it to shame. When I say poor today, I mean financially fragile, low buffer, high debt pressure, and constant uncertainty for months. That fragility can happen at any income, especially when housing, healthcare, or childcare quietly eats everything you have. And that's why your city matters. The same salary can buy safety in one place and stress in another. So if you live in a high-cost area, your comfortable number needs extra padding, and that's completely normal. What matters is building a plan that matches your reality today, not someone else's highlight reel online from yesterday. Point corried. Next, I'll show you how to estimate your level in 60 seconds, using 3 quick checks right now. Check 1. Can you cover a $400 surprise with cash today, without debt, without panic, without excuses at all? Check 2. Do you have 3 months of expenses saved, or would one setback start a chain reaction? Check 3. Is your monthly margin positive after essentials, or are you silently borrowing from your future each month? Answer those honestly, and you'll know whether you're rebuilding, stabilizing, or ready to chase real options with confidence. Doopy, if you're rebuilding, start with defense. Cut high-interest debt, simplify bills, and create breathing room this week first. I'd rather you eliminate one toxic balance than chase 5 side hustles that drain your sleep nightly alone. Lower fixed costs aggressively, because fixed costs are cages that keep charging you even when life collapses suddenly. If rent is crushing you, the bravest move may be downsizing, roommates, or moving before debt grows again. If you're stabilizing, build systems, automatic transfers, sinking funds, and investing on schedule every paycheck without thinking twice. Systems protect you from emotional spending because emotions spike at night and turn small treats into big leaks. If you're aiming for rich, focus on leverage, skills, career growth, and long-term compounding, not shortcuts ever again. Remember, rich starts with comfort. You can't compound calmly while you're constantly putting out financial fires alone daily. Here's the twist. Even top 10% net worth can feel stressful if your money is locked away today too. Net worth can be concentrated in one house and one retirement account, leaving very little cash for life. Trace. So I measure wealth by options. Can you change jobs, take time off, or help family safely now? Options are the real luxury. Yet most of us were trained to buy symbols instead of security first. Symbols are loud, but options are quiet. And quiet is what finally calms your nervous system down fully. Ask yourself this. If nobody could see your life, would you still choose this spending pattern today honestly? When the answer is no, your spending is performance, and performance keeps you stuck on the same rung. I'm not judging you. I've performed too, trying to look okay while feeling behind in private for years. That's why net worth matters. It tells the truth when your ego wants a soothing story instead badly. Picture a ladder with 3 rungs. Fragile at the bottom, comfortable in the middle, rich at the top. Your goal isn't to leap rungs overnight. It's to build the next rung so strong you stay there. Because falling back is what breaks people. One emergency, one layoff, one medical bill, and momentum disappears instantly. In the next scenes, I'll help you place yourself on that ladder, using 3 checks you can do now. Check 1 is quick. List your cash today. Checking, savings, and anything instantly spendable without selling investments first today. Then subtract bills due before your next paycheck. What's left is your real buffer, not your account balance. If that buffer can't handle $400, you're fragile, and the first goal is a starter wall. Check 2. Total 1 month of essentials: housing, food, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments, then multiply by 3 quickly now. That number isn't glamorous, but it's the line between stress and sleep when life throws a curveball again. Check 3 is the margin test. After essentials, do you have money left, or are you borrowing quietly? Borrowing quietly includes credit cards, buy now, pay later, and I'll catch up next month promises to yourself later every time. If your margin is negative, net worth won't rise, because every month you're digging while trying to climb. Now, let's anchor those checks to the national map, so you stop feeling alone in your situation today. Half of households sit below the median net worth, so being under that number doesn't mean you failed. But here's the danger. People below median often believe they're the only ones, and that shame delays action. I want you to replace shame with a plan. 1 buffer goal, 1 debt target, 1 automatic transfer. If you're starting over, your plan is simple. Stop leaks, cut interest, build the $1,000 cushion first now. If you're stabilizing, raise the cushion to 3 months, then invest automatically so progress happens even on bad weeks. Do it. And if you're aiming for rich, keep life boring and focus on compounding, because compounding rewards patience brutally well. This is where my opinion is firm. Most people don't need riskier assets. They need steadier habits daily. Because the real enemy isn't low income. It's unpredictable spending and expensive debt that steals your future quietly. In a minute, I'll show you how rich changes by life stage, so you compare fairly, not cruelly. But before that, take 10 seconds. Write your net worth estimate on paper, even if it scares you. Clarity feels sharp at first, yet it's the beginning of control. And control is what we're building today. Now let's talk life stages, because a 25-year-old and a 55-year-old shouldn't chase the same number today. In your 20s, rich is not a mansion. It's momentum, zero toxic debt, and investing even small amounts. If you're in your 30s, comfort often means a real emergency fund, stable housing, and retirement contributions that never stop. In your 40s, your net worth can finally accelerate, but only if you avoid lifestyle inflation disguised as deserved. In your 50s and beyond, rich becomes protection, insurance, lower debt, and a plan that buys you time and dignity later. That's why comparing yourself to strangers is poison. You don't see their inheritance, divorce, rent, or medical bills. When you compare to your past self. Are you safer than last year? Or just busier and stressed? Now I want to name the real pain. The fear that one mistake will erase everything you've worked for. That fear is why people hoard cash, or gamble, or freeze. Because uncertainty feels like a threat, not math. So here's a calming rule. Build safety first, then grow wealth, and your brain stops screaming at you daily. If you're stuck, start with 1 bill. Pay off the smallest toxic debt and redirect that payment to savings. Then automate a tiny transfer every payday, because consistency beats intensity, especially when motivation disappears on bad days. As your buffer grows, you'll notice something powerful. You stop saying yes to things that secretly hurt you. That's when comfortable starts feeling real. When you can decline invitations, job pressure, or family guilt without collapsing financially. And that's also when your spending changes, because you buy for value, not to prove you belong anywhere. If you want the simplest rich mindset, it's this. Protect your future self the way you'd protect someone you love. Now, let's talk goals. If you're under median, your first milestone is not $1 million, it's stability today. Stability means passing the $400 test, then building 3 months, then investing. Only after those foundations are solid enough. Once you're stable, you can chase growth goals without fear, because setbacks become speed bumps, not cliffs anymore. Ain't cove? In the next section, I'll show you how to pick a 12-month target that fits your level and city. Your 12-month target should be boring but real. A buffer increase, a debt decrease, and 1 automated investing habit. If you're starting over, Aim to build $1,000, then 1 month of expenses without using credit cards. If you're stabilizing, aim for 3 months of expenses, plus consistent retirement contributions, even if it's 5%. If you're aiming for rich, aim to raise your savings rate, grow skills, and keep lifestyle flat as income rises. Dawned. Here's my favorite trick. Treat raises like they don't exist, then send most of them straight into your future. That one decision can move your net worth faster than any fancy budget app because it removes negotiation. Now I want to address the shame word again, poor, because many people hear it and shut down instantly. When I say poor in this video, I mean fragile. Low buffer, high pressure, and no room for mistakes. Fragile doesn't mean lazy. It often means you're carrying rent, healthcare, childcare, or student loans that don't care. You didn't fail because life got expensive. You struggle because the margins disappeared, and that's a solvable problem. Solving it starts by cutting interest, lowering fixed costs, and building a buffer before you chase investments. Comfort grows when your baseline gets lighter, so you don't need willpower just to survive each month. So if you're listening and thinking, I'm behind, I want you to replace that with I'm early. Early means you still have time, and time is the strongest ingredient in building net worth through compounding. If you feel stuck, choose one lever today. Increase income, reduce fixed costs, or destroy high-interest debt first. Most people try to pull all levers at once and burn out. I want you focused, calm, and consistent, because net worth doesn't rise from motivation. It rises from repeatable systems that work even when you're tired. In the final minute, I'll summarize the 3 levels and give you one comment prompt to commit publicly today. Comment your age, city, and level, starting over, stabilizing, or aiming rich, and subscribe for the next video in series.